Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Sherlock, founder of Sketchbro Studios and your host as Business Mastery Show. It's a show with awesome business ideals and their strategies. And today we're joined by Sarah Lawrence. She is the organizer of TEDx Talks. She is a super mom of 6, and she has been a valuable asset to many business owners I've known. She's a master communicator and, well, let's put it all together, a collaboration ninja. Sarah Lawrence, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
It is brilliant to have you here. So Sarah, I'm not going to be wasting much of your time, so I'll try and go directly to the point. My first question is, what do you do? Please give us a very short introduction of yourself, what you do, when and where did you start this?
I am the organizer of TEDx TenayaPaseo in Las Vegas. I really help speakers step up their game and expand their speaking abilities to different stages. So a lot of the most phenomenal speakers I know can get up on stage and talk about their content for hours and hours and hours and hours. But then they're thrown into different situations and they find themselves needing to step up their game. So being able to provide that TEDx stage and being a TEDx coach myself really helps them step up their game and become phenomenal on multiple platforms and multiple stages.
That's brilliant. Can I ask a question? When did this idea hit you?
So a couple of years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided that I was going to make a career out of speaking. So my favorite place in the world is stage. I can be on stage forever and be happy. There's actually an inside joke that is, as long as you give me stages, like I can live off of that. So a couple of years ago, I decided that I was going to move forward in this public professional speaking area. And I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it. So I started making connections. I started reaching out to organizations and speaking coaches, basically anyone I could get into a conversation with, I started talking to. And what I discovered is not only can you make a business out of public speaking, but you can grow so much as a person. And so as I started to make these connections and I started to become more prominent kind of in the coaches, consultants, authors, and speakers realm, I needed to step up my game. I needed to decide what the next step for me was as I was getting more stages, as I was making these connections. And the idea came up to be a TEDx speaker. And I really ruminated about it for a while. And I was like, that's amazing. I would love to be a TEDx speaker, but more than anything, my heart has always been in like service. So how can I grow myself and help grow other people, help grow other speakers in my community and the people that I love. And I decided to apply as a TEDx organizer. And doing anything under the TED brand is difficult. It's not an easy process, and they really want a lot from those people. I also knew that I could speak any day of the week, but I didn't know if I could put on an event of this caliber. And so it was a challenge to me. It was a way to serve the community. It was outside of my comfort zone for sure, because although I'd put on other events, I'd never put on anything this epic. And so I really wanted to step up to the challenge. I have this belief that if I can grow myself, I can help other people around me grow. And by also helping them, I help myself. So no matter what, it's this ongoing cycle. And so I applied. And the first time I applied, I thought to myself, how hard could this possibly be, right? Oh no, it's hard. And
How hard can it be?
Right. And actually I go through I'm like, how hard could this possibly be? And it doesn't always bite me. Like most of the time I just move forward. And, but the first time I applied, I actually got rejected, and I kind of sat in sadness for 2 weeks. I was like, oh, well, I guess this is much harder than I thought. Maybe I can't do this. And then, one of my mentors actually called me and was like, listen, this is ridiculous. Just reach out to your contacts and like step up and do it again. And I was like, okay. So I reached out to the organizer of TEDx Stanley Park, Roger Killen, and I sat on the phone with him and I was like, please just walk me through the application process. Tell me what I need to do here. Help me get to where I need to be. And he did, because Roger's phenomenal. And so that time I got accepted, and I ended up going back and forth with TED on my naming and back and forth on a whole bunch of stuff. But ultimately I got the license, which I'm super proud of. And my event, which is happening September 19th, has some of the most amazing speakers and human beings who are going to like change the world. And so I'm so excited to be able to provide them that stage to be able to do this and get this credibility as a TEDx speaker.
That's amazing. I actually didn't know that about you. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Now, I'm pretty sure no merit, no result comes without a couple of obstacles. So what is the biggest obstacle you have to overcome on your way here?
Oh, my biggest obstacle for sure is imposter syndrome. And it's something I think almost everyone goes through. But something about me, random fact, is I actually have really bad chronic anxiety. And I've had it since I was 16. So in this process of working through and like becoming successful and working in the space, I had to overcome a lot of my issues with anxiety, and I had to reverse engineer how I was thinking. I had to reverse engineer my behaviors. I had to constantly be conscious of what I was doing, how I was doing, what I was thinking, my actions that I took, the positions I put myself in, all of that, right? So as I was going through that, and I was like, okay, I think I have my anxiety under control. One of the things that always pops into my head is, oh, I'm not good enough, right? Or, oh, I shouldn't be here. Look at these amazing people that I am friends with now. Like, how did I get here? Like, how is this my life? And it's such a hard thing, that mindset to overcome. And even when you consciously know, it's like this radio in the back of your head. And I think so many people, regardless of the industry, regardless of who they serve, have this ongoing radio that, you know, they shouldn't be there, they're not good enough, no matter how successful they are. And because that touches so many people, and I go through it a lot, you know, it's something that I openly talk about. The best part of advice I have to get over that is to just move forward. So movement, physical movement, resets your brain. So whenever you have something like business, or you have something, you have a goal you want to achieve, you take a movement towards it. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be a small baby step movement, but you take a movement towards it. And every movement you take towards your goal will help quiet that imposter syndrome a little bit more, because it's really that movement that helps change your mindset. And so, you know, because so many people struggle with it, and I know I struggle with it, that is the best piece of advice I have, is when you're looking at changing your mindset so that you can change your business, so that you can change your influence, just keep moving forward, no matter how scared, no matter what your brain tells you, no matter what fears are in your way, you move towards your fears and towards your goals.
That's actually awesome that you shared this with us. I'm sure that it hasn't been a very smooth experience for you, but now that you shared this with our audience, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who can benefit from this. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. So I'm going to ask you two other questions. And in our previous interviews, this question proved for some people to be very easy, for some people to be a little difficult. But if you could give us step by step, as lengthy as you like or as short as you like, how to become a TED organizer. So what is the first thing, if let's say I want to be an organizer today, what is the first thing I need to do? What are the steps that I need to go through to get where you are?
So the first step I would say is really make yourself familiar with what the TED brand is and what a TEDx talk style looks like, the structure and everything. Spend some time doing your homework. Watch some TEDx talks, watch some ones that were successful, watch some ones that were not successful, that have less views online. Reach out to organizers in the community and look up TEDx events and reach out to the organizers, book a call, do your homework, and know what you're getting into. The reason I say that is because it's not just the application process that's difficult. It is putting on the event and the pros and cons to the event. There's so many of them. So if you decide that you want to become a TEDx organizer, do your homework first, do your research, understand what you're getting yourself into. You can do that, like I said, by becoming familiar with the TEDx brand or the TED brand, watching TEDx talks, watching TED Talks, reaching out into the community and making connections. No matter what you're doing, reach out to the community and make the connections and have those conversations. Once you've done all of that and you've really done your due diligence, then you can go to the TED website and you can look at the application. The application is deceiving because it looks simple. Like I said, how hard could this possibly be? It is much difficult than it looks. So, homework, and then go on and do your application and make sure that you have support, you have your community in place who can walk you through the application.
I really appreciate your insight. I really love that. That really makes a resonate to the, with the, how hard can it be? Like, it can be pretty hard. Yeah, I know. I've been there. So you automatically answered my next question as well, which was to give a piece of advice to people who want to do the same thing as you. But thank you so much for sharing that with us. So everyone, as you heard, Sarah's next event is going to be in September. I'm going to leave the links to her events and basically her career in the bio or under in the comment section. Please feel free to go ahead and reach out to her. If you are a speaker, author, who has a message to share and wants to organize a TEDx talk, this is the person you need to talk to. Sarah Lawrence, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.